How was shy waiting, come to take the throne. To conquer world powers, bring Jacob home. I'm quarterbacking like Jake DeLone. Like Mount Rushmore, I got a face of stone.
We gotta talk about this Sabbath, man.
So basically, I was raised on a whole nother idea of keeping the Sabbath, which was from Friday to Saturday night, when the sun was down. And that's basically because I was born in Israel. We just kept like, that's the way they do it in Israel. So I was just wondering if you can give me like a breakdown on that.
Okay. So, the reason we don't follow the Friday to Saturday, Friday to Saturday Sabbath, is because it's got a lot of flaws in it. And I can show you some. I'll show you a few, right? Now, where do we get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from? The Greek, well, Greek Rome. Well, I'll say. In a way. So that calendar is really the Gregorian calendar. It comes from another calendar, like the Roman calendar, the Julian calendar, and those calendars had various different number of weeks. Like some had 8, some had 9. So we can't go back and say that that's the original first day and say 6 days from that, 6 days from that, 6 days from that, because that doesn't make any sense. To say that that's like the original Sabbath that the Lord ordained, because Israel didn't have those calendars back then. They didn't have any of those calendars. And on top of that, that wouldn't make a lot of sense from a lot of standpoints in the Bible, and I'll show you one. Let me get Ezekiel 46. You got your phone? Can you show me, give me a calendar. Let me show you something. No, just give me a regular calendar.
Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. But on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open.
So the gate of the inner court should be shut 6 working days, right? And on the what days?
But on the Sabbath
it
shall be open.
Yeah.
And in the day of the new moon it shall be open.
So on these 2 days it should be open, right? It says it has to be 6 working days. Watch this, right? Show them that. You see that calendar, right? So if we go with Friday, Saturday as a Shabbat, what if the new moon comes in on that Wednesday right there? Now, is that 6 working days from the Sabbath? If it's Friday, Saturday? What about right there? Is that 6 working days? Sweet. That don't work. Because the new moon, if you throw the new moon in that equation, that's never going to add up, man. Maybe once 1 month out of the year, but the rest of them won't.
All right, so I have a question. So, am I off for keeping it like, because my whole life I've been keeping it just that way, 6 days and then take the 7th off. Am I off for that, or?
Well, for me, I'm going to say it like this. For brethren who keep Friday and Saturday Sabbath, I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm not going to sit here and say, y'all, you're going to get put to death for that, because we're all rehearsing the righteous acts, and we'll all get it right when Christ comes back. But with like a strong comma with a B-U-T at the end of that, all caps, to say that's the Lord's Sabbath is completely off. That's literally just a lie, because there's been so many calendars that have been ripped off of other calendars at different days. You can't substantiate that biblically. Now what we do is, like, this whole Ezekiel 46 thing is going to make a lot of sense. What we do is we go off the moon. Give me Genesis chapter 1. You give me that in the Hebrew. 1 verse 14.
This is Genesis 1 and 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven.
What are those lights? Well, sun and the moon.
To divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years.
For signs and for seasons, for days and years. The sun for days and hours and stuff like that. And the moon for signs and seasons. Now let's look at that Hebrew word right there. Let's read the Hebrew. Let's look at the Hebrew word there for that seasons. You can say it like that.
It's called Moad. It means the outline of biblical usage: appointed place, appointed time, meeting, appointment, appointed time. appointed time in general, sacred season, set feast.
And what?
Set feast.
It's used for set feast. So this light in heaven, this one specifically talking about the moon, it's talking about it's when we setting feast, right? Now let's see what let's look at the feast in Leviticus.
And it says in the Strong's Dictionary, it says specifically a festival.
It's specifically a festival, a feast. Let's look at the feast real fast in Leviticus chapter 20. Watch this.
Leviticus 23 from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord.
Concerning the feast of the Lord, like I talk about the feast of the Lord, right?
Which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Yeah.
Even these are my feasts.
Yeah.
6 days shall work.
Wait. These are the feasts. The very next verse. This is the feast. The very next verse, verse
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
So the Sabbath is a feast. So when you go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, which is the law, and that word for seasons is talking about this light is set for the declaration of times and seasons. The seasons mean moed or moad, how you say that? I know you yeah, like that, pretty much like that. That's for setting a time, a high holy day. It just said the first high holiday it named was the Sabbath. So I have to go off the moon, especially when we look at the rest of the high holidays, they go off what? The moons. So why would I think the Sabbath would be different? Because it names it in the feast. Now read it again.
Leviticus 23 verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Watch the next one.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season.
Proclaiming their what?
Season.
That's the same Hebrew word that Genesis 1 verse 14 said.
Be doing that James
Go off the
5:20.
moon.
Be doing that James 5:20, Joe.
It's the same thing, man.
But it's crazy because we kept the lunar holidays back in the month. We kept everything else. But we didn't base that off the Shabbat.
Yeah.
Maybe that was because we was in Israel and they shut down the whole country.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do over there. Like, I mean,
that's what they do.
you see, really over there, you really have to get down and lay down because that's their law. But that's not. If you look at the source code, that's not according to the scripture. And what was that? Go back to Ezekiel chapter 46. You give me. Yeah.
This is the description of the Gregorian calendar in Wikipedia. It says the Gregorian calendar is a solar calendar.
Based off the sun.
So that's all.
Yeah, it's based off the sun. It's not based off the moon. We base our stuff off the moon. Now watch this.
46 verse 1. Thus, Ezekiel 46 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open. And
the Sabbath should be open. What?
And in the day of the new moon it shall be open.
And I'm gonna show you why that works with the new moon. The new moon saying the Sabbath, right? Because the new moon is the first day of the month, right? And even if you look at the word, I think it's Kodesh. I think you probably know.
It's like the highest of the
yeah.
Kodesh is like the holiest.
Yeah, it says if you look in the outline of biblical usage, it's used. It literally says the first day of a lunar month, literally in the Blue Letter Bible app. Or if you look at in a lexicon for the Hebrew.
Like Kadosh.
Yeah, something like that. And it's been saying it's the first day of the month. So that sets the Sabbath because the new moon is. Yeah, I don't know if y'all do that over there, but the new moon is the Sabbath, and we're gonna prove that. Yeah, Amos. I know what you mean. Amos 5 and 8. Watch this. It's 8:5? It's 8:5 and 5. I think it's 8:5.
So I got a question. So even with the new moons, do we still get 4 Shabbats?
Yeah, because it's on the same cycle. Like I think it's 28 to 30-day cycle. The same thing, right?
It says in Amos chapter 8 verse 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone?
When will the new moon be gone? Context.
That we may sell corn.
Yeah.
And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit.
So basically, it's saying when is the new moon going to be gone so we can sell things again. Now, what time of the year can you not sell things? Well, what time of the week can you not sell things? On the Shabbat. Now, where in the law does it say you can't sell stuff on the new moon? It doesn't. It doesn't. Why? Because the new moon is a Sabbath, and it has the Sabbath rules attached to it. So watch this. Now go back to Ezekiel 46. I'll show you why this breakdown makes more sense. I don't need to drop the precepts, man. Stop dropping precepts.
Ezekiel 46. Thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open.
Yeah, the Sabbath should be open, yeah.
And in the day of the new moon it shall be open.
So if the new moon comes in, it'll set the Sabbath, because it already is a Sabbath. It'll set that in 6 working days, Sabbath. 6 working days, Sabbath.
So
6 working days, Sabbath.
Basically, the new moon.
Whenever it comes in, that sets the calendar. Especially
6 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sets when the Sabbaths are going to be in the month. Yeah, you got a precept? Yeah, we'll be down here. That's what.
This is 1 Samuel 20. It says, so David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. Now I'm going to skip down to the point. It says, verse 25, and the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon his seat by the wall, and Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something hath befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month.
The day before that was what? The new moon. He said the next day is the what?
2nd day of the month.
The 2nd day of the month. Our calendar that's really proving our calendar starts with the new moon being the first day, and then you count 6 working days, and that's a Sabbath.
That just tell you that everything is off. The timing is off. The calendar is off.
Well, I mean, if you're going on Friday, Saturday, that's not our tradition. Yeah, if you're going to have a Gregorian calendar, it's not our tradition. Because if I knocked you out right now, threw you on an island, didn't give you a calendar, how you gonna prove when the Sabbath is? You can't. Especially if I don't tell you what day it is. I just drop you over there. Like,
You know how to count the moon?
yeah, let's know how to count the moon, the thing he gave us. That's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Psalm 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season, for a declaration of
A
time.
declaration of time. So we know what time, what's the specific season that the thing is supposed to take place. Just like how you have like in the first month. Even the word month, I think, goes back to the Hebrew word moon. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, go ahead.
For a declaration of times, and a sign of the world. For the moon is a sign of feast.
Yeah.
A light that
Wait, the moon is a what?
is a sign. The moon is the sign of feast.
Yeah.
A light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is
The what?
The month is called after her name.
Yeah.
Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven.
Exactly. The month we call it called after the moon.
Shabbat can fall in the middle of the week.
It is now. The Shabbat was like 2 days ago for them. Like I'm going out the new moon. It's about another new moon is about to come in next week. It's gonna be Friday, Thursday. It's coming in on Thursday. So the next, the next 4 is gonna be.
I got to come to that to send yesterday. I got to get some of that. So what calendar do you want me to download? They go by whom?
We got the texting.
We got a new texting thing to where now like it already does it for you. It'll send you a text message when the preparation day's out. Okay. But basically, I mean, you can hit us up. We got a calendar. We can send you one. I got it on my phone actually. But, yeah, but you can do it that way. But we already got calendars and stuff. But we can just Google when's the next new moon. There's even apps. Like he has an app, right? Like the one he was showing you.
Like an app.
Yeah, he had an app. What's that app called?
Moon Pro. Yeah, it pretty much just tells you the different cycles of the moon, like when it's actually gonna show up, like when the moon's gonna show up, at what times, everything, the distance, all that stuff you don't really need to know, but yeah, it's there.
You wanna know something even deeper? All the main 4 phases go off a 7-day period.
Yep.
You got a blank moon, you got a blank moon, that's new moon. Then you get 7 days. What's that? You get a half. You get 14 days. You get a whole moon. 21. You get a half.
So they say by the end of the month, you would have the full month.
That's why.
Not full moon, but you come all the way back around again. Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, when you go into the etymology of the word month, it's moon, right? Like going back in the moon. So new moon would be like a new month. And then it said in like SICARRI 43 when he was reading, it decreaseth in its perfection. That's like the waning period. So like it like grows like the cycle, like it waxes until it's a full moon, right? In its perfection, and then it decreases. It starts to wane.
So that would be like the seasons, basically. That would be when you do like summer, spring, winter.
Well, that's
playing part as well.
not really, because the moon's gonna have the same cycles as everything. It always has and always will. Unless the Most High God decides to change it, which you wouldn't, because I'd throw the whole calendar off. But what was I gonna say? There was another precept. Somebody get new moon in the Blue Letter Bible. I want to show you something too. Yeah, you get new moon. Just type in the Blue Letter Bible. Just type in the word new moon. It don't matter what verse, but it should be the same word in Hebrew. It should be, from what I've seen. Yeah, look at the outline of the
It says new moon, Kodesh, Strong's H2320. Biblical usage, the new moon, month.
What?
Month. Monthly. The first day of the month.
The first day of the month, like we said before, then what's the next month?
The lunar month.
The lunar month, man.
That's crazy how they use the word Kodesh and Kadosh. They use these words in Israel, but they don't keep the Sabbath the way it's supposed to be.
They don't, man. Of course they don't. Because they Edomites.
That's crazy.
Esau can't do nothing different. Esau can't do nothing other than wickedness.
Other than wickedness.
And try to disguise it like they're really keeping it. Even the ones that come over here, try to tell us like, oh, y'all aren't the real Jews. And then you ask them to, like how to break down certain things, like even the Sabbath, they can't even do it, man. They told me, I'm telling you something crazy. This is gonna blow your mind, man. So my wife works with some Edomites, and there's some like fake Jews over there in Israel, and they keep the Passover here. I think it's in Houston. Instead of eating lamb, you know I said we gotta keep eating lamb. Guess what they eat? Fish. They eat brisket. Brisket. They eat brisket. They eat brisket, and that's supposed to be the people. But that's Passover is the most important high holy day in the Bible, in the law.
Okay, but I got another question. So do that like cover if you're a vegan?
Yes. Yes, you do. Are you a vegan?
I used to be a vegan.
Oh man, did you eat the Passover lamb?
I do now.
Oh man.
I didn't before.
No man. They're with the law stand, bro.
But you know we got a whole community back there. We all vegan. Like,
Yeah, man.
majority of the community is vegan.
Oh yeah, they did come down here and it was like
Majority of the community is vegan. So we made us like a lamb out of bread. That was like, it was like a representation of it.
Hey, you wanna know something? I was a vegan before I came to the truth, and when I came to the truth, just this Passover that we had earlier this year, they like, hey, you know it's a commandment, you gotta eat lamb. I'm like, fuck it, I'm eating lamb. I ain't breaking the commandment, bro. And ever since then, I'm eating meat now. The Most High, he put me in the truth, I'm eating meat again.
Because like I mean the commandment says that. Like when you go to where it says when you say like Exodus 12, or if you go to basically Leviticus, where anywhere where you go to where it talks about Passover, you have to eat the lamb.
But we got elders. I'm talking about like we got co-pains that don't eat lamb, right? So how do they get around it?
I mean, you gotta lie. Wait. The same thing TD Jakes does, man. It's with a Hebrew twist on it, man.
That's crazy.
You ain't never had some water with a twist of lemon, man. Yeah, man. It's just.
Wow.
It's Jew.
Hey, that's a lot right there.
And this is why they just can't get it back right over there where you from, right? Because it says this, 2 Ezra 3:36. Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. So that's why, we over here keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of God, how he prescribed us to, because he put it in our spirits. But those, bastards over there, they just can't do it.
They can't do it. What you got? Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy 4:2. It says, and I'm gonna start off at 1. Now, hold on. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go and possess the land which the Lord thy God of your fathers giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it.
And when you make your own lamb out of bread and stuff, that's you adding or it's really both in the same thing.
I guess that's why it took me 30 years to even get the whole truth, man. And I was born in
Hey, man, at least you got it. I mean, because most people won't get it. Yeah. A lot of people ain't gonna hear this, man. That's why it's really important that you take heed to it, man. To the best of your ability, man. We say the water, but hey, man. Hey, man. At least he's eating, man. Doing something, man.
You gotta crawl before you walk, man.
Oh yeah, Romans 13, man. Must needs talk to you about this, man. Must needs talk to you about this. Romans 13, man. Is it more? Go ahead.
That ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. So that's why you're not supposed to add or subtract from the commandments, so that you can actually keep them.
Like it says, like actually do what the Most High told us to do. In Romans 13, because Christians and some Hebrew Israelites, like some of the biggest. What's even funnier is, this is a side note, but a lot of Hebrew Israelites who have 501c3s always reading this verse and saying we gotta obey the laws of the land. We don't have. That's not what it's saying there, bro. Yeah, that's not what it's saying, bro. And if that's what it is, that'd be really bad. And I'm gonna say
at the bottom it says, what it says at the bottom?
Oh, we gonna get it. We gonna get it.
Romans 13 from the top. Let every soul be subject unto higher powers.
So they'll say you're subject to higher power, subject to Esau now, right? So that's the context of who. Well, they'll say that's the context of who Romans 13 is talking about.
For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Yeah. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power.
Ordained of God. So God ordained Esau. So that makes no sense. That's off.
Yeah. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resist the ordinance of God.
Yeah, it says so you resist Esau, you resist the power of God. So what if Esau made a law saying you gotta have an idol? What if Esau said you gotta have that in your house, pass a law or anything? You gonna do that? Yeah. Oh well, I mean you have to if you think the Romans 13 is talking about you gotta listen to Esau. That don't make you have to believe that. You can't have it one or the other. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Shalom, 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 shalom.
For rulers are not a terror to good works. But
so the rulers not terror to good works, right? Esau's good works. Nah, man, he treats y'all like second-class citizens over here. You even admit it. Go ahead. Y'all somebody big over there. Y'all doing somebody big. Y'all big, man. I ain't sure. That's a lot of y'all, One love to the brothers, man. Hey, y'all take Hey, where you gonna go? From a group? I don't know where you got. Okay, Shalom, man. Numerable multitude.
Come on, run!
Yeah, man, that's straight a numerable multitude. Gave me that. I don't know if I gave this amount of shalom, man. God.
That's what it is more. That's right there, man.
God. Where was that? Oh yeah.
Jackson, I would never put that in my house. So,
But yeah. Because back to what I'm saying is like, if Romans 13 is saying we have to obey the laws of the land, if Esau passed the ordinance that everybody has to have that in the house, are you gonna keep it? No, but y'all propagate that Romans 13 says you gotta listen to Esau. You got a conflicting issue right there. So watch this. There's more damage.
Romans 13:3. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God.
So is Esau the minister of God? So for this to be Esau, for this to be the Amalekites over there in so-called Israel, or Esau over here, you would have to, if you're saying that's what this is talking about, Esau is now a minister of God.
no, he's not here.
Check my shit.
Right. What's up?
Shit, red
And going into that, if we gotta obey the law of the land, when they make the trip a mandatory thing, that whoever the congregation that's saying it, they're telling you to take the trip, which that's the mark of the beast. You can't repent from that. You're telling your congregation to die.
Or you're gonna resist, or you're gonna receive damnation. You know? So if you don't get the mark, you're gonna receive damnation.
If you get it, you receive damnation.
Hey man, let's get the milk.
I'm just saying, like, because we got to, matter of fact, give me 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 21. This is why stay where you at, though, but get 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 21. This is why we got to put doctrines to the test, man. We can't just take what somebody gives us. You gotta put it to the test. Everything needs to be put to the test.
1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things.
Yeah.
Hold fast that which is good.
Start over.
Prove all things.
Now, the word prove right there in the Greek, what do you think that word means? No, that means to test things. Like if you go into the Greek, it's literally to test things, to try something. You gotta try these doctrines to find out what's good. So let's see if Romans 13 is good for us. It's a breakdown of saying that we gotta listen to Esau. We tested that. If we're gonna say that that's talking about Esau, now Esau is the minister of God. So what does it mean then? What does it mean? What is Romans 13 talking about? That has to be the church elders. It has to be. Because if you look at the other things that Paul was teaching about listening to the elders, he has that in different.
So who's off based off what I was telling you as far as like we ain't I was just a child. I learned that.
Well, I mean that's off concerning the commandments.
They was off as the elders teaching.
Yeah, according to the commandment, that's really off. Like really off. 'Cause I mean, like you can do stuff like that. I mean, I'm saying you can't do stuff like that.
Health thing why they said we wasn't eating meat in the community. Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
But if you look at Israel from a biblical standpoint, historical, we were shepherds. We had sheep. We had we dealt with agriculture and animals like all the time. Like that was our thing, man. Like, we would sacrifice animals. The Levites had to eat of the sacrifice.
I don't know, man.
So what are they gonna do?
Hey, I eat the lamb.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, it's already bad to do that on small commandments. But big commandments like Passover, like you can't do that. Yeah, man. We can lamb of the kingdom. But was that it? Go back to Romans 13. I think that's this. I think it was just that verse.
Yeah, Romans 13:14, verse 4. He is the minister of God to thee for good.
So wait. So is Esau the minister of God for us for good?
No.
So that really right there is proving it's talking about the church elders. Esau is telling us to do stuff that's opposite of that. Esau's giving us that. Esau says be a Muslim, it's okay. But the one thing Esau doesn't want us to do is be an Israelite.
That's right.
They don't want us to be Israelites. And they don't even want y'all to be Israelites when you think about it. From what I've seen, keep going.
But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
That's pretty much. That's Romans 13. So what? Rulers? Reviles to rulers? Yeah. Because you look at that word God is going into rulers anyway. I know what you're talking about. Where you the widest wall? Yeah. You whited wall? Yeah, it's not good. You know what it is? You whited wall. I don't know where that's at. You got it though? I want to get it. That's a good precept. You know what it said? Where you got smacked, it says whited wall.
This is Acts 23:1. And Paul earnestly, beholding the council, said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth. Then saith Paul unto him, God shall smite thee, thou whited wall. For sittest thou to judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to the law? And they that stood by said, Revilest thou God's high priest?
You're God's high priest. Keep going.
Then said Paul, I wish not, brethren, that he was the high priest.
Now, what is it? What is that? What does it say? Revilest thou high priest. What is that talking about? The law. Because you said you can't revile the gods in the law. That word God's going into rulers.
They're saying you can't change it. You can't say that you can.
Well, not specifically that. More or less the rulers, the judges. And he's a priest. A priest is literally the judge.
It says, For it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people.
See? That's what it's going into.
Exodus 22 and 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
That's what it's talking about. That's the ruler.
That in another translation, this Exodus 22 and 28 in the Darby. It says this. It says, Thou shalt not revile the judges, nor curse a prince amongst thy people, the prince from the ruler.
Really?
All right, so basically, I understand the whole people with your bodies on the bottom of the and it's not wrong with being a vegan, but on the holiday, you have to eat.
Because of the commandment says so. You have to. We can't set aside, because really, that's going into what Christ is talking about, setting aside the commandment for your tradition. Because that's what the elders have been doing, and they've been teaching people to do that. So it became a tradition. We can't set aside the commandment for a tradition.
And if I do that, I might as well put that in my house.
Yeah, you might as well. You're gonna get the same thing. You can't just know about Passover and the commandment and just blatantly disregard it. That's super easy. Like breaking a regular commandment. Breaking a regular commitment's bad, but you break it.
But like I said, how did says well, you can't really get judged for something you didn't know.
That's not true.
I mean, I didn't know. If I didn't know, then
you mean wink at your ignorance. Okay, I get you there. But you can get judged for sins that you don't know.
You can, but like you said, I didn't know that. So,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But it goes to now you know.
Now I know.
But if you came over there and taught them that and gave them the same breakdown, and then they understood it and then still didn't do it, that's when you're gonna get judged. That's what we're going into. That's a willful sin. Yeah, you willfully just saying like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them they're gonna take it or not.
Yeah, they're gonna take it or not.
But I think what he was saying, like, you still can be judged. Like, say if you commit adultery, right? Just because you didn't know it was adultery don't mean like back in that time they wouldn't have brought your ass to the council and stoned you.
Yeah, get Leviticus 5. Leviticus 5. It's either 5 or 5 and 7. 5 is 5 from top? Okay, yeah. Yeah, ask the Levites. See, that's what we get.
The law got it.
Yeah.
Leviticus 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Oh, there's another one. That's
If a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary for a trespass offering.
But you still have to give us trespass offering or a sin offering, even if you didn't know. So guess what? You're still going to get judged by it. Because if not, why would you have to give the offering? So if you don't know it's a sin, you still get, especially because I'll give you a good example. Not everybody's going to hear this truth. It's true. Not everybody's going to hear about Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, or Israelites, but they're still going to get judged by it. That's why we're still been going into captivity, still not knowing that we're Israelites. We got Romans 3. You know, yeah.
It says, this is Romans 3 and verse. Let me see this. It's Romans 2, I think.
That's Romans 2 where it's talking about
it's Romans 2 and verse 12. For as many as have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law.
Yeah, so even if you don't have the law or don't know, if you're bound through that covenant, or if you're an Israelite and you don't know or you don't know the commandments, you're still going to get judged by it.
And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law.
And the people who know they're Israelites and continue to do something and transgress the commandments, still going to get judged. You'll get the same judgment because all of our forefathers made that covenant.
Like, you think about it right now, right? Like, we were born into captivity, right? So, I mean, we didn't know the law, you know what I'm saying, like that, like getting raised, coming up, but we were still judged for it. Like, we can see, like, through our ancestors that came over here on the slave ships, like, we got judged still, like, you know what I'm saying?
What's that one where our forefathers have said we're born their iniquities? That's Leviticus. Not Leviticus, Lamentations, right? Is that Lamentations 5:4? 5 and something.
Yeah, 5 and
We'll
7.
close up there. Some holy. No, this slow-mo scriptures.
Lamentations 5 and 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities.
We born their iniquities. We're still here. We still in America. I had to be born in America. My child's gonna be born in America and be in captivity. That's the same thing white people say. Your forefathers did it. I didn't do it. I'm still in captivity, man. Yeah. But with that, I'm gonna say, call on Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, say Shalom.
Shalom.